Good morning, peeps, or afternoon, whenever you're watching this video. It could be nighttime, I don't know, but it's morning from where I'm at, and yeah. Ignorant drivers is what I mentioned. Ignorant means lack of knowledge, okay? It means you're lacking the skill or the knowledge or the understanding of something. Look it up in the dictionary if you don't believe me. That's what ignorant means. Now, when it comes to ignorant drivers, specifically I'm talking about people that are driving their automobiles, their little cars, their Hondas or, Mercedes or Cadillacs or whatever. And, they're in their own little world, and they don't have the knowledge of what it takes to not only drive our big trucks, but to drive their vehicles. They don't understand the science behind it. Now, anybody out here, I'm just going to get to the job aspect of things, okay? People think a lot of these drivers out here are doing it because it's an easy job. If it was an easy job, everybody would be doing it. We have to go through extensive amount of training and driving courses to do what we do. You got drivers out there that have been on the roads for millions of years. Those are the super truckers. People with that drive their normal vehicles. They take a written paper permit test. They get a permit. They go on with their dad, or their mom. However your mom or your dad drives, that's your standard. That's the way you're taught to drive. That's the standard for you. Now, when it comes to us, we have to go through an actual school. Some schools are a month, some schools are 2 months, some schools are a year, depending on what company you go with. So us as a professional driver, we are taught the science, the physics of these big vehicles. We know how long it takes to stop them. We know how long it takes them to go. We know what we have to do to maintain control of this vehicle. You have snowy conditions. There's truck drivers out there that'll drive through them. You guys are running away from disaster. We're going into it. When there was a hurricane in Texas, everybody was parked on the side of the road. All the people on the highway, they were all parked on the side of the road because it was raining. Truckers, we've been taught and we've been through shit that's even worse than that, so we can go. We can just move it on up. Truckers, when we're driving down the road, we are higher than you, and we can see further than most people in their cars because they sit lower. Now, when I was a normal vehicle driver, and now that I'm a truck driver, I could think back of the time that when I drove, I was completely oblivious to what was going on in front of me or around me. It was one of those things to where I wouldn't look a mile or two or three up. I wouldn't read the signs because I was in my hometown. I was in my city. I already knew the speed limits. I already knew where all the cops were at and sit. So I was very comfortable being in my town. So I wouldn't read speed limit signs. I wouldn't read, low clearance signs. I wouldn't read any of this shit. But now as a truck driver, you have to read pretty much literally every sign on this highway. If there's a sign, you read it. There's a sign, you read it. There's a sign, you read it. Because that sign could state something for us drivers that say low clearance or do not turn right or no trucks allowed or something like that. So we got to deal with the signs. And we also got to deal with the oblivious, ignorant drivers. So this is coming up to my point. When we are looking miles ahead of us, see, I can see as far as my eye can see, horizon, okay? This is a pretty straight road. There's a little hill, but I can see on the top of that hill. And I can tell if there's going to be an obstruction on the right-hand side. It could be a woman with a flat tire and her kids are in the car. It could be a cop pulled over and he's giving somebody a citation. It could be a broken down truck and a tow truck's behind him and they're trying to change a tire or fix a leaky airline or something. The vehicle's broke down. You are supposed to move over into the left lane to give them room. It's the law. There's no way around it. The only other time you can't do that is if it is not safe to do so. And what I mean by that is if I have my left blinker on and there's 17 people next to me on the left, I can't move over. Yeah, I have to slow down. I'm going to slow down for them. I'm going to hug the line a little bit. That doesn't mean I'm going to hit you. I see you. I'm going to hug this line to give them room, to put more room on the right side of my truck so it's not as bad for them. Because when we're traveling down the highway, if you've never been on the side of the road and a big rig passes by you, whoo, your vehicle rocks like that. Boom! It's just, what in the world just happened? So, with that being said, if it is safe to do so, and we see a mile ahead of us, we'll wait until about a half a mile and throw our left blinker on. And there's vehicles like back there, way back there, you know, or maybe even just right behind us, but we have enough room to move over. We'll move over. That does not mean to move into the right lane and pass us on the right because you got pissed off because you're looking at the ass end of our truck. Okay? That is not what that means. If you move over in the right-hand lane, you just defeated what we just did. We did it to be safe. Now you are making it unsafe for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. It's not just one. It's many, many, many reasons. One of which, like I just said, you just defeated the purpose of why we moved over in the first place. Now you put yourself into that lane, which was clear because I moved out of it, or whatever trucker moved out of it, but now you have the risk. You have the risk of running into that family of 5 with a mother, or running into the tow truck guy that's got his leg sticking out over the line because he's working on a tire or trying to change something. You might hit him. Look it up on YouTube. Just search YouTube of how many accidents there have been of vehicles on the side of the road and people not moving over and losing control or not paying attention or sideswiping. It's a fact. It is not fiction. This is real shit that needs to be taken care of and taken seriously. Okay? When you pass us on the right-hand side, you are not only putting yourself in danger, but you're putting other people in danger, okay? That is the reason why you should not do that. When we put our blinker on and we are in that lane, we're moving over for a reason. It could be because of something on the side of the road. Hell, it could be because traffic's moving slower in that lane and we want to go past it and we see it. There was a time in Colorado, I was in the right-hand lane and I saw a half a mile ahead that there's traffic stopped, dead stopped. Brakes stopped on the interstate, but the middle lane and the left lane were flowing. So I moved into this left lane, the middle lane, because it was safe. Well, Mr. Van, he had a little white van. He was behind me on the left-hand side. I moved over in front of him. I had plenty of room. He got pissed off at me, moved over to the right-hand lane, and slingshotted past me. He didn't have time to stop. At the very last second, because he didn't pay attention. He was looking at my truck trying to get past me. That's what he was paying attention to. He wasn't looking ahead of himself. I think maybe his wife or something had said something like, "Babe," and at the last second, guys, the last second, he zipped in front of my truck. I had to hit my brakes. If I hadn't hit my brakes, he would have hit me, and there would have been a huge accident. Okay? I saved this guy's life. Do you think I got acknowledged for this? No. Because let me tell you what happened. He zipped over and he lost control of his van. Okay? There was another trucker next to me and he's watching what happens. And me and him both slow down. So we are next to each other. We have control of the left lane. We're slowing traffic down because he's going to do something stupid. He zips over in the left-hand lane. He loses control. He goes across 2 lanes of traffic sideways. Comes back 2 lanes of traffic sideways. Almost hits the traffic over here, comes back sideways, and then he finally regains control. He almost flipped his van, okay? In the back seat, he has like a 5-month-old baby. And I pull up next to him, because now we're in gridlock traffic 3 miles up the road. We're in gridlock traffic, and he's next to me, and the baby's crying, and the wife's got her seatbelt off, and she's like like leaning in the back trying to comfort her baby. They got the windows down, and I rolled my window down, and I just looked down at the guy and I said, "Hey," and he looked up at me. "Was it worth it?" "What?" He says, "What?" I told him, "Was it worth it?" "What are you talking about?" "Getting in front of my truck. Was it worth all of that? Putting your family's life at risk, almost rear-ending someone and almost killing your family. Was it worth getting in front of my truck?" "No." "Bet you'll never do that again, dum-dum." "Are you okay?" Yeah, we're fine." And I just shook my head in disbelief and disappointment, and I drove away. I ended up getting off the exit and stayed the night at a Walmart. I was so flabbergasted. You got to think about the risk you guys are going to take. When you're traveling down the road and a truck gets in front of you, just give them time. Eventually they'll get out of your way. Who cares about your latte at Starbucks? Who cares about the meeting you have to be to in 15 minutes? I'm going to tell you this right now. There is nothing in this world that is worth your life. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You can always get a new job. You can always reschedule your meetings. You can always get another coffee. You can always get to your dentist appointment 10 minutes later, reschedule it. But you can never get another life. Never. So is it worth getting in front of a big truck to save yourself 5 minutes? No, it is not. The only thing we have to see over there are 2 mirrors. Okay? And we have 2 mirrors to see over 53 feet of road. Think about that for 1 second. Our trailer's 53 feet long. We have over 53 feet, 60 feet to look to make sure that that lane is clear. Your car's probably what, 10 feet long? Yeah. Your car takes like 1/5 of the length, or even 1/6 of the length of our big truck. So what I think you should do as a challenge to yourself is take your back window and your 2 side windows, put a curtain or some sort of, maybe a trash bag over it, and only use your mirrors. So this way you'll have a little bit, I bet you'll have a little hard time. Oh, and then only pass vehicles when you're like 7 car lengths in front of them. Like, you can't pass them when you're right in front of them. You gotta pass them 7 car lengths in front of them. That seems like it would take forever, right? Yeah, it does. Because our trucks are governed. Most of us are governed. There's a lot of owner-operators that can do 1,000,000 miles an hour. But for my case, my truck's governed at like 64, 65 miles an hour. So if I have to pass a truck that's going 62, 63 miles an hour, it's gonna take me a while. But you need to bear with me. I will eventually get out of your way. Again, nothing is worth your life. There's videos on YouTube of trucks and cars passing on the shoulder that loses control and causes accidents because they're too impatient. Again, this is a serious matter and it doesn't need to be taken light. So you got your blind spots, right? And then you got your danger of the people on the side of the road. The last main reason why I want to bring up don't pass us on the right-hand side is because if we moved over to that middle lane for a reason, or the left lane for a reason, which it is a reason, don't think we did it just to piss you off, we did it for a reason. When you move over to that right-hand lane, all of your best friends behind you are going to start doing the same thing. And then we got our blinker on, now that that obstruction or whatever reason why we moved over is now gone. All of your best friends are on the right side of us, and we got our blinker on, and we can't move over, and everyone's pissed off that we're in that left-hand lane. Dum-dum. Think of science and mathematics right now. I can't move over into that lane if you are in that lane. So why are you in that lane? If you are mad that I am not in that lane, why are you in that lane? Move or don't pass and let me get in that lane. I can't just snap my fingers and then just jump over in between your little freaking bumper to bumper car length It's not going to happen that way. So, and then people are going to keep passing, and they're going to keep passing on the right. They're going to keep passing on the right, and they're all pissed off, and they're all giving us the bird while they're passing us. And I'm like, come on, really? What the hell am I supposed to do? I can't move over because you're passing me on the right-hand side. So, think. When we put our blinker on, and we were trying to move over into the left-hand lane, we are trying to move over for a reason. So slow down or speed up and get out of our way. Okay? We would do the same for you. But we don't have to be as dramatic because your cars are bullets. They will take off at an instant. They will take off so quick. That brings me to my next point. Acceleration and deceleration. I'm going to ask you guys an honest-to-gosh question, okay? I'm going to ask you this, and I want you to give me your honest opinion, honest answer of what you would do. If you're on the highway at 75 miles an hour and you're coming up to your exit and you hit that off-ramp, are you going to continue going 75 miles an hour until your stop sign comes up and then slam on your brakes, lock them up, and come to a screeching halt? I want you to answer that in the best way that you can, honestly. I'm going to repeat the question. You're going 75 miles an hour and you hit the off-ramp and there's a stop sign coming up. Are you going to continue with your pedal down going 75 miles an hour until you get to the stop sign and then slam on the brakes? Can you answer that for me? Honestly. You wouldn't, right? Rob, that's a stupid question. Of course we're not going to slam on our brakes before we get to the stop sign. We're going to start slowing down right when we hit that off-ramp because that's the safe thing to do, right? We're gonna slow down before we get to that stop sign and come to a safe stop, right? That's what you would do. That's the safe thing to do. Why is that? Because you know you have to stop. You already have perceived that there's a stop sign or a stoplight at this off-ramp that you have to stop at. You have to. Or slow down to make a turn. You're going to slow down, right? Because you already know this. My next point, if you are on an on-ramp and you know that the speed limit is 75 miles an hour, are you going to continue going 5, 10, 15, 20 miles an hour, 30, 40 miles an hour until you get on the interstate and then accelerate? Why do people do that? That is what happens all the time, all across the United States of America. People do not know how to accelerate before they get onto the interstate. They are scared. They are afraid. They do not know what to do. They don't know the length of their vehicle. They don't know how to judge the distance or the speed or the capability of their car. First point, you don't know the science behind your vehicle, right? You don't know the physics of the way it works. You don't know the length of your vehicle. You don't know what gap you can fit into. You need to figure it out. Once you hit that on-ramp, you need to smash your gas pedal. I understand that there's the dum-dum in front of you that can't do it, and you might want to. I get that. So if this doesn't apply to you, then don't listen to this part of the story. This is going to the dum-dum that was in front of you. So dum-dum, when you are traveling at 45 miles per hour on the on-ramp, the accelerator lane, you need to get up to 75 miles an hour before you hit that. Well, Rob, there's a yield sign, right? That yield sign does state, when you look in your book, to proceed when clear. Well, if you're going 75 miles an hour, the chances are you can get into the fucking interstate. There's not going to be one vehicle that is going to be so close to where you can't find a gap. There won't, because you're going at the same speed they are now. So you can move over and get in front of them and then continue on your way. Now, that is that right there. You speed up, you can move over. You're probably going to. Now, if you're going to sit there and accelerate, slow down, accelerate, slow down, accelerate, slow down, accelerate, you need just to stop. You just need to get off the fucking interstate, take your keys out of your car, throw them in the ditch, and start walking. Because You do not need to be on the interstate. You are a dangerous driver and you will cause an accident. It may not be you involved. It may be 5, 6 cars behind you because the big truck's got to slam on its brakes, and then 4 cars behind you, you got Miss Sally or Mr. Jesse texting, not paying attention, and rear-ends the car in front of them. Whose fault is that? Well, of course, it's his fault texting, but what really caused that situation? You not getting on the interstate, making someone slow down from 75 to 55, which happened to me this morning on I-40. Meanwhile, you're driving along oblivious to what you just caused. So, if you are going slow and you can't get on the interstate, you need to stop. That yield sign does state, proceed when clear, or proceed with caution. So if you cannot safely get on the interstate, you need to wait until it's clear. I don't care if you stop the traffic behind you. You need to wait. And then when it is absolutely clear, when you're at a dead stop, and it is absolutely clear to when you can smash your gas pedal and get up to speed before the car behind on the interstate has to slow down, do it. But if you start to accelerate and this car is going 75 miles an hour and that car is 5 spaces behind you, you're not going to get in front of him. You're going to cause that car to slam on its brakes. So don't do that shit. You need to get up to speed and you need to get on the interstate. Now, the gap between the big truck, semi, and the vehicle in front of him is his safe stopping distance. He's already judged it, and that's his safe stopping distance. If you have to get on the interstate and use that gap to get on the interstate and then move over into the left-hand lane and continue going, by all means, go for it. I don't care. But if you get into that gap and you stay in that gap, you just put yourselves in harm's way, and the chances are you're probably going to get rear-ended if that traffic comes to a screeching halt, because I can't stop my truck, because I weigh 80,000 pounds, and you're gonna get demolished. Your family's gonna go bye-bye. So get on the interstate, get out of the way of the front of the truck in front of you, or the truck behind you, the one that you just got in front of. Move over, take the fuck off, have a nice day, no incidents, nothing about it. But if you don't have the room, don't ride on the shoulder. You can't ride on the shoulder and then get over and blame us because we didn't move over. Can you see on the other side of this truck? It's 13 feet tall, 13.6 tall. Can you see on the other side? Some of these trucks, like this trailer's got a skirt that goes all the way down. It's only got a gap about this big between the ground and its skirt. And then you got our wheels. You cannot see on the other side of our truck. So if you're trying to get on the interstate and you're expecting us to move over, sorry, dude, it ain't gonna happen. Why is that? There's cars right here. We got cars all along the side of us right here. Why are we going to push them off the side of the road and cause an accident and cause that family of 6 and that lawyer and that cop to flip their vehicles because you got to get to your freaking appointment or get your latte from Starbucks? The point is this: get on the interstate safely. Accelerate. You should be able to know where you're going to be merging into before you even get up to speed, because you have mirrors and you have windows. You have extra space and extra spots to look. You shouldn't just be doing this. You should be actively looking, because the mirrors, these mirrors, if you ever look on your mirrors, it says objects in mirror are closer than they appear. So when you look with your eyes, you're actually able to get an accurate judgment, okay? Even truckers do that. When we're coming on the highway, we look in our mirrors and we look out our window. Sometimes we got to roll our window down and put our head out of it because it's a big blind area. So this is my conclusion, okay? Don't pass us on the right-hand side. Give us time to get out of your way. Reason why we moved over was for some reason, safety reason. If you go on the right-hand side of our truck, you just put yourselves in harm's way, and you put somebody else's lives in harm's way. If you are getting on the interstate, do not take your time. Get your ass on that interstate and go. If you cannot get on the interstate because traffic is so dense, you wait until it's time to where you can move over. If there's gridlock traffic and you are stopped, you wait until someone lets you over. It's that simple. Okay? That's all I gotta say. be safe out there, guys. This is something that really needs to get out. Share this video. We can only be as safe as you allow us to be, us drivers. So, be safe. Enjoy your ride. Have a great day. Rob.